I'm here with Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Alexander, let's talk about Matteo Salvini. And the Italian Senate has voted to strip the former interior minister and the leader of the Lega party in Italy of parliamentary immunity so that he can face kidnapping charges for refusing to allow migrants to disembark from a ship out in the port of Sicily. Now, let me read you some tweets that Salvini sent out regarding this decision, which could land him in prison for up to 15 years. And this is what Salvini had to say about this decision via the Senate in Italy. Salvini tweeted, quote, "If I have to go to court, I will explain to the judges that defending the borders of my country and protecting citizens was my duty. And serenely, I will go to that courtroom to represent millions of Italians because I simply did what they asked me to do, to control who enters and who leaves Italy." Alexander, after the Senate voted, Salvini also tweeted, "I have nothing to be ashamed of. Indeed, I will go to that courtroom, reaffirming what I have done. I am proud of what I did as a minister." He also called out the opponents, his opponents to this supposed kidnapping charges in this apparent kangaroo court. He called them kidnappers of democracy. Now, in a TG2 television statement, Salvini said, "During my time in government, we reduced the deaths at sea. We reduced landings, costs, and problems for Italians. I expect an impartial judgment from the court. I feel like a true Italian, not a criminal. I defended the borders of my country and the safety of my children and the children of all Italians. I do not ask for a medal. They give me a trowel. I will go to that courtroom to say that defending the borders of my country is my right and my duty." And finally, Alexander, Salvini also tweeted this gem, quote, "Me like Trump, question mark, me like Trump. He has a few more billions and a few more years. But it is a habit of the left around the world to try to win by judicial means." That was brilliant, a brilliant statement by Salvini. So, Alexander.
It's completely true. Let's just deal with that, Trevor. I mean, we've had 4 years of Russiagate. We've had in France, there was the confected scandal that knocked out the conservative opponent of Macron in the election, Pierre Fillon. He was knocked out because of, a confected scandal there. We've had the extraordinary business in Austria, where somebody, the party in Austria was again brought down through an extraordinary maneuver that involved a bribe that never happened, staged by an actress and all of that. And we've had a number of judgments in Britain during the Brexit case, culminating in the Supreme Court judgment, which we discussed last year, which said quite incredibly and bizarrely that Boris Johnson's brief prorogation of Parliament was unconstitutional, which, as I said, I did not understand, and I still don't understand, and which seemed to me at the time, and still seems to me now, a grossly political judgment. So I think he's absolutely dead right. I think what we've seen in Italy and in all sorts of other places is the politicization of the judiciary and of the criminal justice system in order to clamp down on political leaders who dissent against the policies of the globalist elite. And Salvini is the latest victim. But of course, what we also see, and we've seen it with Trump, and we saw it with Boris Johnson. And by the way, when I say France, I should also add Marine Le Pen also has faced all kinds of criminal investigations in France. I should have that too. But what has happened with Trump and what has happened with Boris Johnson is that these legal cases, these fabricated legal cases or phony legal cases that were brought against them, have ended up helping them politically. They've emerged stronger as a result of them. Donald Trump is now more popular in the United States than he has ever been. Boris Johnson rules all he surveys. He has an 80-seat majority in the House of Commons. His party is now polling around 49% in the opinion polls, and he's just carried out a ruthless reshuffle of his government. So it merely strengthens them. And this, I predict, is what is going to happen with Salvini, because I don't think the Italian people are going to take these kidnapping charges seriously. I mean, they are ludicrously over the top. They bear no relation to reality. You can argue that maybe he broke the law, though, I'm not an expert on Italian law, but to actually prosecute him for something like this, which he did as in his role as a minister in a coalition government, which was led by a left-wing party, the Five Star Movement, which continued to remain in coalition with him after he took this step. It seems to me absolutely bonkers, both from a legal and more especially from a political point of view. So I predict that whatever happens, he's not going to go to prison for any length of time, but he's going to be able to project himself as somebody who they can't defeat politically. They're trying to defeat legally, but it will end up making him stronger. And it will mean that when he wins the election, which he will, I think, very soon, and he will become an even stronger prime minister than he was before. But, this is now, it seems, the major political device that is used by, I won't call them the left, actually, but the neo-globalists they call themselves very often the left. In Italy, they call themselves the left, but which they use everywhere against all dissident politicians that they disagree with.
Yeah, actually, I read that all members of the government were consulted when Salvini made the decision to stop that ship in Sicily. So, yeah. I mean, everyone was in the know when he made that decision.
Including of course, the ministers of the left-wing Five Star Movement, many of whose members have just voted to strip Salvini of immunity. So, I mean, what they approved of when he was in government, they've now to say is criminal kidnapping when he's in opposition. It couldn't be more. It couldn't get more absurd and hypocritical than that. And again, if you know Italy well, you know this is a sophisticated country. People are very cynical. Italians are politically sophisticated and cynical people. They see right through this. They know exactly what's going on. And as I said, it's going to end up strengthening Salvini even more, quite apart from the fact that, as he says in his various tweets and statements, the step he took was popular.
What happens if they do arrest Salvini? Is there a chance? What happens if they do?
Well, all right. If they do, there has to be a trial. If there's a trial, I predict he will turn the trial into. He's clearly preparing to do that. He's going to turn the trial round and put his opponents, if you like, on trial, accuse them in effect. That's what he's aiming to do, and I think that this is going to create such a huge uproar in Italy that I think he will be acquitted. And I think, as I said, he will emerge strengthened. If they double down and try and arrest him and send him to prison, then all I can say is that what I predict will then happen is that he will lead his party from prison. There are plenty of precedents of this around the world. And it will mean that, his party will win an even bigger landslide than otherwise.
Yeah, they've been going after Salvini, Orban, Duda in Poland. I mean, the European Union is trying. This is an attack to get at these nationalist, nation-state, sovereigntist type of leaders.
But indeed, on a specific issue, which, of course, as he's making clear, is about defending the borders of the country. In other words, a sovereigntist position. I mean, they're attacking him because he took a sovereigntist step. They're not attacking him because, they say he was corrupt, because he stole money, because he did anything anything that, ordinary people in Italy can relate to. It is because he defended the border. In other words, because he upheld Italy's position as an independent state.
It's incredible how the border issue has become the cardinal sin.
Oh, absolutely.
And Merkel's taken a beating for it as well.
Merkel's taken a beating for it, and they're all going to take a beating for it. And can I just say something? I mean, this is one of the points I want to say. I mean, because I am old enough to remember the old left-wing social democratic parties of the 50s and 60s and all over Europe. They were not in favor of open borders. I mean, this is not their policy. They did believe in border controls. This is a completely corrupted thing that we see today. It's just completely extraordinary how this has become the sort of litmus test of what the globalist elite, which calls itself left wing, now constructs its entire policies around. And what it shows is that they don't like nation states. We've discussed this recently in a video that we did about the advertisement, the commercial that the Scandinavian airline did, in which they abuse, trash, Scandinavian culture. Salvini is trying to protect Italy's borders. He's trying to protect the Italian nation, or at least that's the argument he's going to make, and he's right, because that's what he did. So they're threatening to send him to prison for it. Most people in Italy, and people in Italy, they may not be as openly patriotic as some people are in some other places. But people in Italy care about Italy. They care about Italian culture. They're proud of Italian culture. They're not cruel. They don't want to see people rounded up and, dumped into the sea. And as Salvini is very careful to say, fewer people died when he was Italian Home Minister than had been true in other occasions. But they do care, as people everywhere care, about their borders. That was what Brexit was also about. It's about taking back control. If you try and criminalize that, you're creating a huge problem for yourself.
What do you think is going to happen in the end, Alexander?
Well, I think that there will be. I mean, Italy is a place where criminal prosecutions can take forever to mount. There's a massive amount of corruption and disorganization within the judicial system. I doubt that it will ever get to a trial before any election happens. But I predict that in the meantime, Salvini will make all the political mileage out of this that he can. And as I said, it will make him more popular and stronger because, of course, the mask of the Italian establishment, the political establishment, which is, of course, a part of the European political establishment, has dropped. It's a stupid thing to do, actually. It shows an extraordinary mule-like stupidity in the way they were behaving. But, there we are. You can't help people who are intent on destroying themselves, which is what they're going to do. The Five-Star Movement is disintegrating. The Democratic Party, the traditional left-wing party in Italy, the party that used to be the Italian Communist Party, which I can remember very well. It's also, stagnating at under 20% of the vote. I predict a landslide for Salvini.
Yeah, and when Salvini gets into government, he is going to be a formidable opponent to the globalists. Absolutely. They're going to have hell to pay when they're going to have to deal with Salvini.
Well, of course they will, because as I said, he will have defeated every attempt they've made, everything they've thrown at him. He will be extraordinarily strong, and of course, he's, in my opinion, an extremely clever man. So, and he's going to be leading
a big economy.
I mean, Italy, as I always remind people, has the second biggest industrial base in the Eurozone. It's got a bigger industrial base than France or Britain. So, we're talking about a big country, a country which has been dysfunctional, badly led, has a weak financial system, but which is inherently very strong.
That is why they're so scared, and that's why they're trying to lock him up.
Well, indeed. Absolutely, that's exactly why they're trying to lock him up. But you could. What did Nietzsche once say? That which does not break you makes you stronger.
All right.
I don't break him; it's going to make him stronger.
Oh yeah, it will make him stronger for sure. He's already getting stronger. You can already see.
Well, I tell you this, what these tweets show, to my mind, is that he knows it. He knows this is going to play to his advantage. Just as Donald Trump, when they started the impeachment proceedings, if you remember, he didn't panic. He welcomed them because he also knew it would make him stronger. And that's exactly what's going to happen with this case.
All right, Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Thank you very much, guys. If you like this video, click on the subscribe button down below. Click on the notifications bell. Smash that like button. Go to PayPal, Patreon, and subscribe, start, and donate to us there. Your donation really helps out this channel a whole lot. And download the Telegram app and follow us there. We update everything that goes on in the Duran from the Telegram app. And go to the Duran shop and pick up some awesome merchandise. We have got magic mugs and we've got awesome polo shirts like the one Alexander is wearing.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing polo shirts. You know, this beautiful black polo shirt with its gold double-headed Duran eagle, and what better combination is there than black and gold? It's an incredibly stylish combination. But of course, we've got polo shirts in many colors, one color for every taste and every circumstance. And of course, I'm in Berlin at the moment. I'm actually broadcasting you from the hotel in the center of Berlin, and it's a very stylish city in many respects, and you want to be well dressed here. And here I am, extremely well dressed in my amazing 100% cotton, beautifully made, incredibly stylish, ultra comfortable Duran polo shirt. But we don't just make polo shirts, we make also long sleeve shirts and short sleeve t-shirts and v-neck shirts. And we also have all sorts of other great products. We've got our hats and hoodies and stickers. All our shirts are 100% cotton, like our polo shirts. All of them are beautifully made. And of course, we've also got our amazing magic mugs. I didn't bring one with me to Berlin because as I'm going around in a suitcase at the moment, I don't want to leave one behind. So, but they are also of exceptional quality. And you will find also in our shop our 4 ebooks, which we intend to expand the number of ebooks we do, but we enlarge on some of the topics that we've discussed on our programs. So you can find all these great things on our shop. You support the Duran by coming to our shop and buying these great things. We depend on you to support us because obviously what we say in many of our videos isn't popular with everybody, and that's putting it mildly, and they make problems for us to the extent that they can. So we rely on you, our viewers, to support us. And at the same time, if you come to our shop, you're not only supporting us, you are supporting yourself because you're becoming the great owner of these wonderful things. So don't hold back, come to our shop, support yourself, support the Duran. Alex will tell you how.
TheDuranShop.com. You'll find the link in the description box down below. Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Thank you very much. Until next time, everybody, take care.